I was intrigued because when I saw the picture come through, and it was a picture of three lads um, with a load of meat in their hands, I did think, oh, what's this one going to be about?
Hey everybody, it's Shit Talk Reviews. I'm John. I have with me Derek and David, and we are thrilled to have in the virtual room with us today the bass player and frontman from URNE, Mr. Joe Nally. Welcome to the shit show, Joe.
You're all right, mate. Thank you for having me. I love that the name is the shit show reviews or whatever it may be. I think I guess there was probably a bit of dread whenever anyone sees, oh, God, we've been reviewed by the shit talk or whatever it is, the shit show reviews. Fucking hell. But no,
Joe, it's all about just making fun of Dave. The music is the music. Shit Talk Reviews is shit talking Dave. So feel free to make fun of him. You can make fun of me and John, but Dave is he'll ask you questions like, who are your influences? And then you're going to be like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Have at it, Joe. Yeah.
No, I'm fine. But no, whenever you kind of get someone with a New York Giants hat on, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. So,
well we're going to throw down. I'm on the next flight, man. We'll throw down.
We had a day off in New York, and we went to watch the Giants versus Texans. And the first week we were there, it was so hot and fucking nice. And then overnight, it just the cold. I was not ready for that real bitter cold. And yeah, we were there just like in the MetLife. I was just like, we've got to fucking go because I am dying here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but it was the most American thing ever. It was wicked to be at, but then I just couldn't deal with the cold.
Well, listen,
the weather changes in a New York minute, that's for sure.
Let me set the table. Congratulations on a fantastic record. I can speak for all of us when I say we love the record. It's a great bit of work, and you guys knocked it out of the park.
Thank you very much, pal. That means a lot. That's really good to hear, and it's
very honest.
It's still growing.
Yeah. It's a very honest album. It played to me like a very honest record, and I think Dave and Derek would say the same, both lyrically and musically. And you can tell there's a lot of heart in this record, and if you don't mind, like to get into that at some point is, whatever you're comfortable sharing. I know the lyrics are powerful. Your vocal performance is crusher, by the way.
Thank you.
Love that you laid it out on the table, but you can feel a lot of passion in your performance, and if you can speak to that for a minute, I would love to hear about it.
Well, I think for me, it's like I think there's too many maybe metal singers who so many fucking sound alike. Like I'm baffled by that deathcore thing. What I wouldn't take no pride in sounding like 2,000 other people doing that style of vocals. I grew up in South London. I have a bit of a twangy voice, and wherever I can use it, I will use it. There's some tracks on this album where I do some lower stuff. A big thing for me that is I always want people to. I'll try to make it as clear sounding as possible. I don't feel no fulfillment when I listen to a metal record and I cannot pick out anything that person said. That doesn't hit me directly. It does nothing for me. I get at some points you might have to go to the book because you might be shouting along with the wrong words, kind of making it up yourself. But I think a big part for me has always been get your passion across, get your accent, get people to hear your voice, put it across. Don't try and hide a thing that a lot of British people do. They put on like a weird American voice. Why? There's a whole nation that sound like that. We don't. We don't sound like that. So sound like yourself. And a thing a few years ago, I lost my voice doing a project before. So I just went and did like some Melissa Cross DVD thing for like an hour or two. And all of a sudden I just felt like I was like pronouncing things much clearer. And that has more of an impact. Like if you can actually kind of grasp on what the person's fucking saying. Mm-hmm. And so I just wanted to kind of put it out there. It's kind of straight in your face as you can. And I didn't try to make the lyrics feel kind of magical and mythical and kind of how do you figure this out. I tried to make it as brutally honest and straightforward as possible. And for me, a big part of that growing up, I've had all different heroes along the timeline of liking rock and metal, and when I was very young, it was fucking Meatloaf and Billy Joel, and then it went on to fucking like whatever John Bon Jovi, and then obviously hearing Metallica, me kind of growing up like wanting to be Jason Newsted because he had the backing vocals, he fucking played the bass, he looked cool as fuck. But in about 2001, when I was young, really, really young, I heard Jesse Leach from Killswitch Engage for the first time. And that guy changed it all for me, changed everything. And I was fortunate. I watched him last week. My hero is now a bloke who can come up and ask to have a picture and have a chat. And I'm like, fucking hell. And that was the guy that changed everything for me vocally. But not at the time, I was too young. But years go on, I always went back to that work. And I'd love for once in my life to have done something that made people feel something, not just another metal thing.
Was the album Alive or Just Breathing that really moved you?
Yeah. And I would love to do something like that. And, you don't go out of your way to try and make that, it just kind of, I guess it just happens. And no matter what, even to this day, I'll put that album on, and the first track with where it stops and goes, "Where do the memories go?" That was taken from Numbered Days, Alive and Just Breathing. I wanted something that got people in there straight away. And that's what that song did.
So speaking of Killswitch, fixation on the darkness, there is a serious fixation on sorrow on this album. Did you have any trepidation of being buck naked for everybody to see and feel and hear?
Do you know, it's weird. I think last week, a couple of Thursdays ago, we did a one-off show or an event in London, and we could only play a short amount of songs due to contractual stuff. So I did a Q&A thing with someone from Metal Hammer, and even talking about it then, it was the first time I felt like I really laid everything out. Even though I've done tons of interviews, but I'm actually stood there in front of 100 people, whatnot, talking about it. And sometimes kind of joking about it, because I guess if you have to, I guess, when you're in one of them sort of situations. And I said something like, God, if I was struggling to get lyrics to the song, I'd call home and go, how's everything going? Oh, it's been a bad day. I'll be over. I need some lyrics, and just trying to make it a bit easier on myself. Now, I still didn't know if I'd done the right thing. We played Bloodstock as like the release kind of show. And after that, I walked off stage. People loved it. Amazing. And I looked at Angus, and we just had there was like this weird, all right, on to the next album. And it was just this weird feeling. And our drummer was buzzing, but me and Angus, there was something not there yet. And I think that came for us the other day. Now, I've had a lot of people reach out, be it email, my inbox on Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, comments or whatnot. But one person messaged me the other day, and it killed me. Fucking, I was in a bad way, and I was about to go into a meeting at work. And I work in a law firm, so I weren't like the best fucking thing. And I sent it to Angus. And out of all of them, I've had a lot. But there was just something about this. And what the guy done, he sent us a picture of him and his wife at our gig, looking really happy. And then he told us his story. And I sent it to Angus, and Angus had to go for a walk at his work. And that was the moment I realised I'm glad I did do it. And
Hey, Joe, can I just real quick, can you just tell me about your relationship with Angus? I know you guys were in a band called Hang the Bastard back in 2000. 2015, 2016. But I know your relationship goes back before that. And it seems like you guys, it's funny you were just talking about him because it seems like you guys have a really cool bond. And I just want to know, or would like to know the relationship you have with him when you met, and maybe just kind of how you guys collaborate, because it's so important for a lead singer like yourself to get, to have a relationship with the guitar player. So I would love to hear the relationship you have with Angus. And by the way, before you answer that, just to say, for a trio band, you guys are awesome. Angus was phenomenal on this album, and I want to give a shout out to James Cook because he was phenomenal also.
Yeah. I mean, James had joined the band about 7 weeks before we had to go to America. He had to learn a set of the last album. He worked full time as a drum teacher. He has a child, and he had to learn all this new music and write his drums and then fly to America. James did a fucking great job. But so myself and Angus, I joined. So we were actually in a band previous to Hang the Bastard, which I joined in about 2013. Angus joined in 2014. And in the UK and Europe, there's quite an established kind of crossover hardcore thrash doom band. And this is why we get lumbered a lot with sludge and doom, just because of the band we was in before. And I couldn't fucking tell you. That is not my stuff. That is not my field. I've got posters of Thin Lizzy, Rainbow, and all that here. When people go on about sludge and doom, and I get asked about it in interviews, I couldn't tell you. I'm just like, yeah, I love Black Sabbath. I don't know what to say. And that is just, and we just get put with it. And funny, quick, I watched a review recently, and the guys could not let go of it. But on their metal encyclopedia, it says this. I don't know who did that. I've never fucking claimed to be that. If you read anything of me, I just go, it's heavy metal. Is it heavy? Yes. Does it sound like metal? Heavy metal. Done. You're spending too much time on trying to pigeonhole what this is, and it kills people. And I'm like, guys, chill. But yeah, so myself and Angus. So I used to be in a band some years ago. You can hear the album online. It's called The Imperial Skies. Used to be in a band called Chapters. And we toured a lot, with Silosis and Hang the Bastard, funny enough, and Zerath, and we did some bits and bobs. And it was always the band that other bands loved, and was always like, oh, when's your turn? But just kept missing the boat. We kept losing members, and that was the struggle. But the genesis of it was, it was the funny thing. It was like everyone was from a different part of the world, right? So we needed a new guitarist, and our drummer at the time, who's Kenyan Indian English, he was like, I've got just the guy, and he's Filipino. And I was like, good. It was just like, you've got to add to it. We've had 16 different nationalities in this band. We got to carry it on, And we were at a gig, and I'd never met Angus. And I mean, this is like 2008, and it's quite funny. I'm like this big, burly ginger guy, and Angus is this small, like Filipino boy, And we just went over to him, and we both had a beer, and Mike was like, are you going to join the band? And he was just like, yeah, because he wanted to learn from our guitarist at the time. This guitarist we had, sadly, doesn't play anything anymore. I think he thought he was going to be the next John Mayer or something, and he's not. Angus just wanted to learn from this guy. And so he started teaching Angus, basically, and showing him what to do. And then, sadly, he went to music college, and within like a term, he'd cut his hair off and started, when we were playing live, we're playing a metal show, and he's over there looking like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're killing me here. You know what I mean? I'm right. And then he left, and then Angus basically took everything he got taught and just started writing his own stuff, which was the first the Chapters record. And then, like I said, we joined Hang the Bastard, and it was just that it was easy to play some good shows and to do stuff without the stress, without kind of getting knocked back. I got to play massive festivals around Europe and wicked tours, and it was nice, but it was very simple for us. So once that version of that band finished, it was kind of like we took a bit of time, and the first EP we wrote straight off the back of that, and I think you can tell because it's a lot easier, it's a lot straightforward, shorter songs, and it did okay. It did like a tiny little ripple. People liked it, and then I just said to Angus, like, let's just write what we loved as kids, what we originally wanted to do. Let's just do it, and if it works, it works. And we went back to our roots, of what we loved. That innocence of getting a few of your mates together in a practice room, in a garage, and listening fucking all week to Countdown to Extinction or fucking, I don't know, fucking The New Order, and being like, fucking going into a practice room and letting that inspire you. Do you know what I mean? And you got a Death shirt on there. Death is in our top 3, Death, Nevermore, and Death, Nevermore, and Metallica. For metal, I like our sort of bow downs, and we just went from there, and he's so chilled out. It's completely opposite to me. I could sit in a room with him for 24 hours and we don't have to talk. And there's this thing, and it's weird because now all these business decisions have to be made, and all this sort of, God, you have to get everything right. And we can all have a talk, and we'll all talk with management, blah, blah, blah. But it always comes down to a talk between me and Angus. And he knows what I do, and then I know what he does. And when the riffs that I wrote for the album, they're a lot more simple. I give them to Angus. He makes them make sense. And then he'll come in with his stuff. Drum-wise, we usually have a really good idea of what we're after. And with James now, he's a lot more kind of accomplished than our previous drummer. So we can just chuck stuff at him, and
it's amazing how the trajectory of everybody's lives go one way, but somehow your paths came together with Angus, and now you guys got a beautiful thing going on. So that's awesome. Thank you for answering that, because I was just when I read up on you, I could see that there's some history there. You guys really have something special going on. So that's great.
You mentioned you mentioned sort of wanting to develop your own vocal style and have some clarity there. Is that something that I don't know who handled the production duties on Spirit, Serpent and Spirit? Yeah. I don't know who handled production duties there, but obviously you had some real muscle working with you guys on this latest album with Joe. Do Plantier, do I have that right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then with Jens mastering it, two really, really powerful guys. How was that experience with them?
Jens mastered the album before.
Apologies.
And this album was mastered by Ted Jansen, who mastered Hotel California, Bob Marley, Lord. Exodus.
Nice.
So yeah, he mastered this one. So yeah, it's a powerhouse.
Yeah, but working with Joe, how much was Joe pushing you in any given direction to do things, or was it a matter of you met with him ahead of time, you guys already had a plan, he wanted to just help pull the best out of you? How did that go? Walk us through that.
I think he didn't want to touch the song structures. I think there was only one thing where he cut out a rotation on a song, but he wanted to create an atmosphere and a vibe. And once he kind of got, we met him in Copenhagen at a show, and we spoke about what we was after. I think he then knew it needed to be a really passionate, raw. It can't be polished and break your heart. It needs to be heartbreakingly raw and break your heart. And he got that. And it was weird for me. Like the first sort of week, we were all together, drums, a little bit of bass, guitar. And then the first 8 days, and then I'd say the second 8 days, it was just me and him, pretty much. And I still think I can have room on the clean vocals, but I'm not trying to cheat anyone. There might be a bit of tweaking here or there, but there's so many singers now. I went to recently see a person who does a band over here, and there's a track on our album which blew me away. and live it blew me away because it just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to cheat people like that.
Sure.
You know, I want to keep that thing that makes it sound real and authentic. And Joe would be like, he would keep it very simple for me, and at places, for me, it was hard to try and to go into certain keys. I would kind of always go to this and then jump over at the next couple of keys and go to that. So, you know, I'm still, you know, learning that side. But when it comes to heavy, he would be like, there were certain things he liked from me vocally. And I think that the one that he kind of attached himself to the most was my actual shout, I'm a gobby bastard from London shout. And that's his favorite. And, but then doing the death metal style stuff, I've never done that before. And it just added a complete different dynamic to the album. And I didn't overdo it. So there was a few things I tried on this album. The last album, I lost my voice with about 2 songs to go. And the song on it, A Tomb So Frail, my voice sounds completely different. It's like I sound like Max Cavalera now. And I wasn't ready. But I think next time around, I've already learned so much more from leaving there, doing certain basic singing lessons. And it's weird I'll always read things with like Hetfield or whatnot. It was always the first tape they still use to this day. The first thing they ever got is still what they use. And that's what I think with me. I just needed to do some simple warm-ups and whatnot. And I've never really done that too much properly. Yeah. So I'm excited for the next thing, because I feel like next thing there's going to be vocally a lot more. But Joe just wanted to create a vibe and give it an identity. Where there's a lot of albums now which are super polished, super clean. This is, you know what you're going to get after the first song. And I think he wanted anything but that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, for sure.
How did that relationship with Joe come about? I mean, he's a pretty vocal supporter of yours, I know, and you guys have shared the stage with them on more than a few occasions too, right?
Yes. So it started day one when the last album came out, and the bass player Jean-Michel posted about us, and obviously tiny band back then. We are a tiny band now, but we're a band who had no one. We're now a band who have people in big bands who like us. So we're creeping up.
Yeah.
But he posted about it on an Instagram story, and I got really embarrassed because I genuinely was like, that's a fucking mistake. I could think was that there's another band from France, because URNE, as you guys probably know, isn't the English spelling of URNE. It's everywhere else it's spelled like this. So that's why some people are like, oh, it looks like URNE. Oh, fucking hell, yes, okay. But the rest of the world, it looks absolutely correct. So he posted about it, and I was like, fuck, he's made a mistake here. And then he posted about it again, but with the artwork. And I was like, oh my God. I mean, you know, reached out, thanks very much. And he was like, cool album, very, very short, very simple. And I was like, cool. About 4 months later, that on the first tour after COVID, for the whatever with Gajira and Deftones. And then one night we just got an ad from Joe, a little message. I like the album. Jean-Michel showed me it. Keep it up, guys. And then it kind of went from there, really.
Very nice.
Very good.
I'm actually wearing a Gajira t-shirt today because I knew we were going to talk about him.
So I have to say, for me, and I've reviewed a lot of albums going back to the 90s. I've been doing this for a while, took a break, back doing it with these guys. Very few albums emotionally capture my attention right away. And that was kind of the reason why I went and made fun of you with the washing meat picture, and not making fun of you, but just being funny to get your attention. Right away,
he was flirting with you just a little bit.
I was flirting from afar.
It's fine with me.
But I will tell you that when I listened to this, and I mentioned this on the podcast, my mom died 10 years ago next year, and it was bad. I had to help her pass away with breast cancer, and she chose to go. Your music hit me, and I rarely am hit immediately like a 10-ton gorilla. You popped me pretty good. Talk to me a little bit about what happened in your life that could get this kind of emotion out of a person that's a whole, ocean away from you.
The do you know, it's like weird. I think so. I could probably take you back some years. So, like, my mum's a cancer survivor, same cancer, and I mean that felt like that took years. It was so bizarre. It felt like it went for years and years, because you don't just get it and then that's it. Obviously, as you know, it's going through all of that, and then the medication and getting strength back, and then that's what all of a sudden you kind of realize, like, fucking hell, like life is, there's that feeling, God, mate, like, I guess, when you get told something really bad, there's that feeling in your body and you can't explain it. It's like someone's taken your feeling in your legs away, your stomach, you go light. It's a weird one, and so with this, I this situation, like, we were all, from London, and like, my parents moved down to the coast, and it was always that sort of dream, to kind of get out, live by the seaside and whatnot. And then I think my sister and her husband and that realised we need my parents. My parents do a lot for us, and they were like, "Fuck." And then I was like, "Fuck, I'm going to go as well." But I live like one town away, so I'm not right there in front of them. And then my nan was just like, "Oh God, I'm going to go as well." So everyone left London. We haven't got a very big family, So we all moved down to the coast to start this kind of wicked, want to have a beautiful, like today's beautiful down here. You can go for a walk and sit on the pier and have a coffee and a chat and soak in the rays, whatnot. And then I can't remember what period of, if it was COVID or just before, but my mum and dad was like, "We're going to come over and have some lunch." I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like, wicked, completely whatever. And my sister come over, and that was day one, But it was day one. But to be fair, I could have told you a few years before, because it was always like, is he being a bit of an idiot? Do you know what I mean? Or is there something wrong here? So, and I always remember, prime example, like The Flood Came Rushing In, the opening track. So we sat here one lunchtime, just chatting away, and then it's like, we got something to tell you. And there's all of a sudden you're trying to figure out, what's about to unfold here. Is it going to be something like something financially has gone wrong, blah blah blah? You're trying to think of everything. And I just remember, like, they was like, so I've got dementia. And I'd only recently been reading a Dave Mustaine article about Alzheimer's, and that's what his mother-in-law passed away with. I think she walked out the house and they found her 3-4 weeks later, sadly. And I'd only just been reading that. And when it was Dave Mustaine talking about something serious, and not him being arrogant or mad or angry at Metallica, when he talks about something smart, and he's a smart dude, you kind of pay much more attention to any of the other shit he does. And I remember them telling me, and I've mentioned this in a few things, The Flood Came Rushing In. The flood isn't the artwork, it isn't the sea. The flood was sat in front of me, was my sister, and where she was crying, all I could see was just the puddle with tears, and it's the flood of emotion coming out of her, and that's what that's based on. And then the rest of it, kind of, it's all a lot of it is these questions of me asking questions to myself, trying to figure it out. To Die Twice, that is based on the Mustaine thing. That is actually what he was talking about. A stumble of words is, watching like being during a conversation, then all of a sudden that conversation's gone. That's been taken away.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what the fuck? The burden speaks, I guess it's quite a simple one. The burden placed on us all, and how we're all trying to figure our way on, help each other guide our way through this somehow. And becoming the ocean, you know, we moved down here, and it's just the weight and the pressure that it's all put on us, and it's just tying in that ocean thing, which the chorus to that was written by Joe. He doesn't want any credit for it. He's like, I'm the producer, but he pretty much wrote the lyrics, and he wrote the phrasing. He sings on it, which you can hear now. I've told you in the chorus. You'll be able to be like, oh yeah, fucking hell. A Feast on Sorrows from the other side, like talking about like your mum. How could, I mean, I'm sure must have just lived a great life, had children, raising children. How did one day, when you got so many shit fucking pricks in the world, did this lady get picked? Why? And that's from the other side. It's what chose her, and that's what I did A Feast and Sorrow about. It's from the dark side of it, and it's almost like it's kind of referencing there's like death is waiting beside them. I'm ready to take them any time now, and it's almost writing about the thing you can't see, but you know is literally holding their hand, and that's what that is. So that's a completely different sort of spin on it. It's a darker element. And that is wrote, I guess, based on the person's final moments, whereas Peace is on that moment. That moment, it's gone. You know, it's that flat line, and that is it. And it goes on to the long goodbye. It doesn't just end there. You know how it is. It doesn't just end. And sadly, one of the two people recently passed who've had it in, my immediate family. As I said earlier, a few of us moved down here, and sadly one's gone, and it doesn't just end. And on that song, it's talking about, when they're out there, and we now live down by the coast, and when they're out there and they're lost in the wilderness along the coastline here, once a year, they light these big fire pits all the way along. And it's basically look for that and you will find where you're meant to be. And that's what that's based on,
That's beautiful.
And that's the whole album. It's just
powerful, powerful stuff, Joe. Really. Pretty awesome when you break it down like that. Now you get a whole different perspective on when you listen to it. It's pretty deep, pretty awesome, and you're right. Where have the memories gone? It can happen like that. It goes quick. Pretty powerful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what do you, not to change things up, but what do you do when you need to take a break from it all? Be it, music, work, outside of music. You said you've got sort of an office type gig. What does Joe do when Joe needs to completely turn off? What's your go-to?
Mate, I feel like I haven't turned off for about certainly the last 18 months. I haven't had a holiday in a couple of 4 years now since URNE started kicking off. What do? I love getting up of a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm up at 6 o'clock all the fucking time. Body clock has crucified me. And I love just simple putting on some really, be it old gospel music or old soul or whatnot, getting a coffee and sitting on the beach for a couple of hours just by myself. Don't need anyone. And then once that wears off, then it's just back to doing band stuff, and it's, at one point, I'll need to, but for now I know what's planned for us till the end of the year, and it's just planning. We've got a couple of meetings coming up, which fingers crossed, if it comes off, it will really change what's going to happen for us. But where the other guys can switch off, like Angus is going away on a few trips here and there, and James has kind of got a family, and he does this and that. I can't. I sadly can't, and it's nothing worse. I used to be really bad at it. I'd lay awake at night being like fucking everything, and there's always one. I'm sure there's always one in every band, and
3
you kind of make
a.m.
yourself feel.
3
Yeah,
a.m. is the
mate,
worst. The witching hour. It
mate.
fucking kills you.
And for years, I'd get really bad. And all of a sudden you hit 3 a.m. and it's just like tossing and turning. And I used to be like, I'm not going to fall asleep now. I'm going to get up to like fucking make a cup of tea, put the TV on. If it's fucking, if the NFL's on and hopefully the Giants are getting slaughtered, I could happily sit there and just watch that.
Listen, if you come to the States, man, we're throwing down. I know. Listen, no. I know you go to football games there, and they're violent as fuck. So you can handle it. We can do it.
Yeah, I feel when you go to a sport and fans are sitting amongst each other, God bless.
Nothing good ever happens.
Yeah. But it's So yeah, I wish I could just. But my big thing is this, just listening to music and that. I'd like to just. Oh God, I would love to just be able to not be on social media, any social networks even.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to just put my phone, give it to someone, and I could go up to the Highlands for a week in the middle of nowhere and just kind of de-stress and kind of let it be. But it's, as I said earlier,
Joe,
we played.
Joe,
sorry?
Did you see Dave's face? How confused he was at talking about relaxing, because his whole life, cocaine and hookers. Constantly. He's from New Jersey. That's all he knows is cocaine and hookers. And you're like talking about drinking tea and sitting next to the ocean for a couple hours. Does not compute with Dave.
Oh, God.
Well,
listen, I can see where you're coming from, because you guys are right on the cusp. Yeah, I can. You guys are right on the cusp, Joe. You're like you just said before, you're almost there. You got some big things on the horizon. If I was you and I was laying in bed, my wheels would be turning 24 hours too. So,
Well, for me, one of the best things was when we was out doing the second lot of Gajira dates. Now, the first lot, there was a bit where a lot of like, do we deserve to be here? The first two shows. And then it was just like, lads, we cannot be out on tour with the band I consider currently the best. It's the band that, trust me, it's the band that all the other metal bands who are touring thinks is the best. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, we can't just let these go away, And then we just need to go out there, just fucking go for it. They want us here for a reason. Yeah. And we went for it. And then we come home for a few days, and then we went out, and some other friends come with us because we needed someone for merch, and we had to have a different driver. And a friend of ours jumped in at the last minute. And we had a fucking amazing second half. Like, we just stayed in like the best hotels, all this stuff. And it was like, there was a bit where we're driving through the Alps, and we all get out and we're in the middle of that. And I see all my friends, because that was it. There was everyone we take out, I need to know. And there was a bit, I'm just kind of walking back away, and there's all of my pals all buzzing. And it's weird because there's three of us, but Tom, our sound guy, he's like the extra hidden gem. He's an amazing sound guy. But just watching everyone, our guy who does photos, Tony, she comes out and does merch and that, and Shrubs, who's an older guy who drives for us, and watching them be in awe, and they're here because of something that I created with my best friend.
That's great.
That was about as good as a feeling as I could possibly ever want from doing that. And we're all here. And it was weird. It felt like I was on a holiday, and we just happened to be playing some shows. And it was
That's
bizarre.
amazing.
It was just like,
that is great.
To me, great feeling.
That's fantastic. Well, listen, Joe, we don't want to take up too much more of your time. You've been very generous with us, and we appreciate the album, all the work you and the guys did. It is a great piece of music, and I will speak for all of us and tell you that we're very excited to see what's coming next for you guys. We wish you nothing but continued success.
No, wicked, mate. Thank you very much, pal.
And
Thank you.
And call us when you're going to be over here stateside, because we're all anxious to see you guys on a stage.
That would be great.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be the thing. I just hope we're not doing open air things, and it be in the hottest parts of America, because that would kill me.
We're in Florida. You can come down and sweat.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to kick your ass for making fun of the Giants.
I follow the LA Chargers, so it's not. I haven't got much to sing and dance about myself.
Well,
so,
you have a better quarterback, so you got that going for you.
You guys
Hey,
are
Joe,
talking about a ball sport, right?
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right. It's out of my
Joe,
wheelhouse.
Hey, Joe, I wish you guys nothing but the best. Phenomenal trio. I could go on for days how much I love it. So all the best, and I hope I get to see you live. So really.
Cheers, man.
Joe,
Thank
you.
you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very
Joe.
much.